The seal on the floor showed my buddy Joey just as I remembered him, when I left him in charge all those years ago.
Hey, buddy, watch where you're standing!
What's your problem?
Your face, for one!
Excuse me.
Well, if you hadn't been staring at the floor like a moron, you'd have seen me.
I didn't catch your name.
I'm your mama!
What? Do you know where I can find Joey?
Oh, I don't know. Weirdo. They say he walked into the gap, or sailed across the sea. Either way, he abandoned us all in this place.
You don't like it here?
Needs more color, wouldn't you agree?
Do you know a guy called Graham Grundy?
Nope. Sounds like a moron.
In that case, let me introduce myself. Graham Grundy.
Doesn't surprise me.
Do you live here?
Do I look like I live here?
I'm not from around here. Maybe everyone here looks like you.
Yeah? And what do I look like?
Trouble.
Keep walking.
What happened after Joey left?
Well, duh. Council runs the city now.
I'll leave you to whatever it was you were doing.
Aw, really? I'll miss you.
Yes, I'm very busy.
Hey, Dirtbag! What's your favorite color?
Huh?
You heard me. What's your favorite color?
Red?
Bold choice. Later, man purse.
Later, backpack.
Ha! You got nothing.
Clearly not everyone in Union City was quite as courteous as they were happy.
Pray, please stand back. Water tank depleted.
Someone had spilt paint on the floor. The holdall was stained with paint.
Water refill complete.
The cleaning robot was clearly designed to carry heavy water tanks. Hey,
What are you looking at?
nothing.
Then go look at nothing somewhere else.
Apologies, Citizen Graham. This is not your residence.
Be off with you.
Apologies, Citizen Graham. This is not your residence.
With no hand scanners, I figured they were intended for droids.
Apologies, Citizen Graham. This is not your residence.
Wait, I know that U-chip. Oh my, is it really? Yes, it is. Master Graham, you have returned. How wonderful.
Oh, good day, huh?
I shall inform Madam and her guest that you have arrived. She will be so pleased.
No, that won't be necessary.
She will be overjoyed that you have finally returned to the bosom of the family. My apologies for the interruption, Madam Songbird. It's Master Graham.
What about him, Chipworth?
It appears he has arrived home, Madam.
He has, but that's wonderful! Oh, thank Joey! My dear husband is back!
Ah, I was hoping to meet you, Mr. Grundy. Mentor Alonso, Ministry of Well-Being. I was just here to investigate some irregularities.
I'm sure my Graham needs a few moments to freshen up. Why don't I show you my kudos records? I don't know who you are, but right now we're both in a lot of trouble. So for both our sakes, you'd better convince the mentor that you're Graham.
Yes, of course.
I'll stall him. Just don't come through that door until you know enough about Graham to pass yourself off as him.
Don't worry. You can count on me. I wasn't sure what I'd walked into. But if I was to convince anyone I was Graham, I needed to find out more about him. His job, his family, his state of mind. The mentor could ask me about anything. Information about Graham was scattered all over the place. All I had to do was look around. A shelf full of sports gear and awards from years gone by. That looked like Graham and his wife on their wedding day. They looked blissfully in love. Rhythmic gymnastics, first place. Amethyst or purple glass? Either way, it looked expensive. Fairy tales, courtly romances, and art books. At least one person in the city appreciated a nice cup of coffee, although I doubted Union City Blend contained even an ounce of actual coffee beans. Definitely an improvement on the food dispensers they used to have here.
Excuse me, please.
Keep a smile on your face. The pictures were all of Graham's wife. They were photochemical prints, taken using an old-style film camera. The retro technology had managed to blend songbirds seamlessly into the fake backgrounds. The photography was impressive, but the subject didn't look happy. The pictures in the apartment told a sad story. A blissful romance that had soured with time. I was hit by the acrid smell of chemicals. A sword? The blade was cracked. Anti-Hobart propaganda. Some things never change. How to survive a war. Better just to not be around to see them. Espionage during the Hobart Wars. Nice to see the propaganda was still around. Among the drawings were photographs, land trains, and the city walls. A printer? It was rare to see one of those. Giant scorpions in the sewers, real or fake? Unlikely. The tentacle monsters would have eaten them years ago. A uniform like the one Graham's wife wore. It was cut for someone much larger. The logo on the uniform was quite distinct. Looked like these photos were taken by the city walls. A cavalcade of cryptids. Someone believed in monster stories. So Graham was a cleaning supervisor? I needed to find out who he worked for. If I slipped up, I'd be exposed right away.
Welcome back, Graham. Displaying your health chart now. It has been 2 weeks since your last checkup. You have lost weight. Congratulations! It has been noted that your height has increased, adjusting records accordingly. Scanning for medical implants. Error. Implant missing. Refreshing biomodification database. Please wait. Removing cardiac implant registration. Registering Schriebman port as new implant.
The scanner had detected my Schriebman port, which allowed me to interact with Link, the city's old network. Since then, I'd pretty much forgotten about it.
Adjusting your health rating from C to A+.
I was considerably fitter than Graham. That was good to know. Do you have any advice for me?
A single can of Spankles contains more than your daily dietary requirements. Look for the clown. Drink Spankles. Keep a smile on your face.
Thanks.
You are welcome, Citizen Graham.
What devices do I have installed?
You possess a U-chip personal data implant in the perlicue of your right hand. It is functioning correctly. Your cardiac regulator implants have been marked as removed. Please return them to your nearest medical waste facility. You possess a Schriebman local interneural connection port in the third cervical vertebrae. This hardware predates the Minos system and cannot be accessed at this terminal.
That's probably for the best.
You are welcome, Citizen Graham.
That's all for now.
Due to the alteration of your physical parameters, a new uniform has been ordered and will arrive at your home shortly. Keep a smile on your face.
I was a lot healthier than Graham. In fact, I'd say Graham was downright unhealthy. I had made some headway, but I still needed to know about Graham's work and social standing. Union City Red. I suspected it was more fruit juice than wine. A chart showing that Graham's kudos score had recently dropped.
Excuse me, please?
Hello there. Chipworth, wasn't it?
Master Graham, may I say, sir is looking even more fabulous than usual today.
Why, thank you.
Has Master Graham lost weight?
Maybe. Does Master Graham look like he's lost weight?
Oh, yes, sir. And it would appear sir has gained some height as well. Bravo.
Tell me, Chipworth, who was that woman just now?
But that was sir's wife, Madame Songbird.
Yes, of course. My wife.
Is sir quite feeling himself?
It's fine. I've just been having a difficult few days.
How serendipitous that the well-being mentor is here then, is it not, sir?
This mentor, what will he ask me about?
The Ministry of Well-being is always concerned, sir, with a citizen's well-being.
Well-being?
That's right, sir. A citizen's health and happiness, their relationships and social life, all of the utmost importance to the Ministry. He might also inquire if Sir needs any support in the workplace or similar.
Why exactly was I selected?
I believe Sir's 2-week-long work, poll, and social hiatus may have raised some concerns. Just be yourself, sir, and you will be fine.
Of course, because I am Graham Grundy. Chipworth, tell me everything you know about me.
Request respectfully declined, sir.
But aren't you my butler droid?
Yes, sir. I have been Sir's butler for a very long time.
Then why can't you tell me?
Standing orders, sir.
Whose orders?
You... nice try, sir. Almost had me.
Graham had made sure his droid wouldn't talk. I had to do my own investigating. I need you to do something for me.
Just say the word, sir.
Never mind. Perhaps later.
Very good, sir.
Tell me about that woman. Humor me.
Madam?
Who?
Me, sir.
Goodbye, Chipworth.
Have a very special day, sir.
The council was made up of 5 ministries. Each ministry had their own logo and distinctive color scheme. From the color of his uniform, it was clear that Graham worked for the Ministry of Comfort. I had learned all I was going to from Graham's apartment. I hoped it would be enough.
Excuse me, please.
If I was going to convince the mentor, I had to be sure I knew enough about Graham. I couldn't keep them waiting any longer. From that point on, I had to be Graham Grundy, cleaning supervisor.
Darling, I thought you were going to freshen up.
I was, but I missed the sweet sound of your voice.
Oh, Graham, always the romantic. But please don't kiss me until you've showered.
Wouldn't dream of it. Besides, I couldn't let Alfonso here.
Alonso?
Monopolize my lovely wife for a moment longer.
In which case, shall we begin?
Of course. Shall we take a seat in the lounge? It was now or never.
So, Mr. Grundy.
Mentor Alonso, what would you like to know?
Ah, well, straight to the point. I like that. As I was explaining to your dear wife earlier, there have been some issues with your activity records of late.
Issues? What do you mean?
Mr. Grundy, a word to the wise. This will be much smoother if you leave the questions to me. Now, whilst your records load, remind me, in which ministry are you employed?
Comfort. I'm a cleaning supervisor.
Yes, of course. Ah, here we go. Graham Grundy, 42, cleaning supervisor with the Ministry of Comfort. Cleaning supervisors require Class C exertive activity certification. I trust that your health rating is sufficient.
I did drop down a bit, but I'm back to Class A+ now.
Excellent, excellent. Very good. So, with that in mind, I will mark you as fit for work, barring any other issues. Now, obviously, your kudos level will have fluctuated due to your absence. You're a C+ right now. I note you used to be much higher.
B.
Yes, well, you'll be back up there in no time. Well, that is all I need to check off. But I'd be remiss if I didn't offer you all the extra support and guidance that you need.
Mentor?
When someone goes off-grid, there's usually some underlying trouble. And as a mentor, I like to think of myself as a bit of a troubleshooter.
Of course. I appreciate the concern.
So, let's get to the bottom of all this confusion. Dig a bit deeper, eh?
Deeper? Yes, right. By all means, Mentor.
Tell me about your workplace. I trust there are no issues.
The land train facility. It's a fine place to work.
I'm sure it is. Department of Land Trains and Extra-City Commerce. Wonderful.
Oh, yes. Couldn't be happier.
We are, of course, very grateful for your service, Mr. Grundy. But there we come to the crux of the matter. Your absence. 15 days is a long time. This is, of course, why my ministry has become involved in your case. We have been concerned for your well-being.
I'm fine. Better than ever, in fact.
Excellent. Now, speaking of your health, I note you had some surgery last year. Tell me about your implants. Are they working effectively?
You mean my heart regulators? Nothing to worry about. As you can see, the beat goes on.
Yes. Well, I must say you're in remarkable shape considering your medical history. Of course, your mental well-being is just as important to us. How are you getting on with your rather peculiar hobbies?
You mean my photography?
I do, yes.
You can't beat the feeling of an old-time film camera.
I can imagine. You have an eye for composition. Although I don't understand your interest in using such archaic technology. Choosing to fiddle with knobs rather than availing of ministry-recommended filters, stabilization, automatic archive, and data retrieval, all courtesy of Minos. If we can't see what you create, how can we share in your interests?
What can I say? I like a challenge.
I'm sure you do, Graham. Ah, well. I have a busy day of appointments, so sadly we must conclude our little chat there.
It's been a pleasure, Mentor.
Hasn't it? So with that in mind, perhaps you can tell me where you've been for the last 2 weeks.
What? Right. Yes, where have I been the last 2 weeks?
Well?
Okay, so the last 2 weeks, I was working at the land train facility, of course. Cleaning. I'm a cleaning supervisor. And while I was cleaning, I must have bumped my head. The next thing I knew, I was in the middle of nowhere, still on the train. 2 weeks later, the train returned to the city. Cleaner than it's ever been, I might add.
My poor darling! How awful! What a dreadful thing to happen!
I believe I have all the answers I need from you.
Well, that's a relief.
I'm sure it is, Mr. Grundy.
Well, thank you for stopping by.
Just a teeny tiny thing before I go. There appears to be 1 or 2 anomalous results here.
Anomalous? That doesn't sound good.
It may be nothing. But here's the thing. I get strange readings when I scan your U-chip. Any idea why?
Maybe it got damaged when I fell.
Ah, yes. Of course. That's probably it. You see, the only other time I've seen anything like this is when a U-chip has been tampered with. No one would have done that now, would they?
Tampered with? I didn't even know that you could do that.
Graham's a supervisor, not a subversive mentor.
Yes, a supervisor, not a subversive.
Damaged when he fell. Request analysis. There. Perfect. I have everything I need.
Great. Chipbot will show you out.
Chipworth? darling.
Just my little joke. Chipworth.
Good day, Mr. and Mrs. Grundy.
I don't know who you are or what you've done with Graham, but I think we got away with that.
I hope so. I don't think that we would get away with it a second time.
Nor do I. If there is anything wrong with Graham's U-chip, you would better sort it out sharpish, before Alonso's analysis comes back. Who even are you? Where's Graham? Are you that contact he kept ranting about?
Whatever Graham had been up to, it had gotten him killed. I had to come clean with his wife. There's no easy way to say this, but I'm afraid Graham is dead.
What? How? Where?
I found him. In the Gap.
The Gap? What was the idiot doing in the Gap? Was that where he was always sneaking off to? Ugh!
A child, Milo, was abducted from a village out there and brought into Union City. And I think Graham was somehow connected.
Sure, and pigs fly. Listen, stranger. I'm sure you can understand this has been a rather harrowing day. This is all too much for me right now.
Tell me about it.
So, I'm gonna do some damage control on social media. In the meantime, I guess that officially it is your home, so you can stay, but this is my bedroom, and that one is yours. No cute ideas.
Understood. Songbird seemed rattled by the news. Not surprising. But whoever this contact of Graham's was, I suspected they were the key to finding Milo. I poked at it, but I couldn't get it to turn on.
Hey, don't touch that! I will not have any industrial runoff coming into my house, thank you very much.
Jasmine. Songbird, I'm sorry
For what?
that your husband is dead.
Hey, win some, lose some.
That's pretty harsh.
Look, stranger. You told me your secret, so I'll tell you mine. Last few years, Graham gave up trying to be anything other than the dullard he really was. If it weren't for the kudos for being married, I'd have dumped him months ago. You're new here, so a word of advice? You want to win in Union City? Learn the rules and play the game.
My name's Foster, by the way. Robert Foster.
Songbird.
Is there anything more you can tell me about Graham?
Not much. He was a loner whose only friends were idiots like him.
Who's this contact you mentioned?
Bad news, as far as my kudos level is concerned.
What do you mean?
Graham was always rambling on about this hacker friend of his. Had a daft name. Leet, I think.
Any idea where I could find Leet?
Probably somewhere up top, with the other degenerates. If I were you, I'd stay away.
What were you saying about kudos?
Were you born yesterday?
Let's just say I'm new here.
Okay, newbie. Here's how it works in Union City. Be a good example, stay happy, and you get kudos.
Which you spend?
Well, kinda, but not really. The higher your kudos level, the lower you are in the city. Simple.
So kudos is bad?
Aren't you listening? Lower. Lower is better.
What's with the Alonso guy?
Guy? I believe you're referring to Mentor Alonso from the Ministry of Well-Being. He's a high-ranking official. And we've just lied straight to his face.
Quite the team, huh?
If he knew what's really going on, I dread to think how far my kudos would plummet.
And what about me?
Arrested, deported, I don't know, not important.
Tell me more about Graham.
Why do you want to know?
I think he might have been involved in something.
What do you mean?
I came to Union City from the Gap because I was investigating a mysterious...
Oh, for Joey's sake, not you too. Blah blah conspiracy, blah blah giant dog. Graham was the perfect husband until he started getting crazy ideas. Why couldn't he just have an affair like a normal person?
Could Graham have had anything to do with kidnapping?
For both our sakes, I hope not.
Graham was a conspiracy theorist?
Always was. But before he went missing, he really changed.
He became secretive. He used to close the terminal whenever I came into the room.
That's not that strange.
And he started spending a lot of time in the bathroom. And then he just disappeared.
Okay, that's the weird bit. Thanks.
Yeah, bye.
I didn't think Songbird would appreciate me rummaging through her things. A collection of toy animals were lined up in little baskets. One was missing.
Excuse me, please.
Excuse me.
Ah, Master Grundy. What joy to see Sir again after all this time. The Poet Laureate Reginald Arthur Schnippel Esquire sends his regards and/or condolences as appropriate.
How nice of you, Reginald.
Correction, sir. If one may be so bold, Mr. Schnippel is of course Sir's human neighbour. How Sir might mistake yours truly, Tarquin, for our beloved Poet Laureate is beyond imagining.
What do you think about the graffiti?
As an artiste, I find any medium a valid form of expression. Of course, the vandalism does somewhat detract from the piece.
Who are you again?
Tarquin, Fidelis Mark II domestic savant, at your service.
So you're a servant?
Savant, please. I am a highly engineered personal aid.
I'm Graham Grundy.
Of course, sir.
So we've met before?
Of course, sir.
Do you work in these apartments?
Of course, Master Grundy. Sir and I have been neighbors for 147 days and 11 hours.
So you like the graffiti?
I said it was a valid form of expression, albeit not on a par with, say, the literary arts. But as art goes, it's not too abhorrent.
Have you heard any reports of missing children?
Why, no, Master Graham. If anyone went missing, I'm sure AI Officer Greta would find their U-chips.
What if they were from outside the city?
Well, surely AI Officer Greta would find them by their newly implanted U-chips.
Fair enough. For all his poetry, Tarquin was still a Union City droid. See you later, Tarquin.
Will I?
Huh? It's just a phrase.
Shall we schedule in another meeting?
I don't think that's necessary.
Such ambiguity. A tortured soul. Alas, I am inspired.
Commencing spray. Please stand back.
Dear me, a terrible situation. Very troubling indeed.
Mentor, given your experience, your input here would be greatly appreciated.
Orana, isn't it? You strike me as a fine young officer of the Ministry of Well-Being. Would you say that's an accurate description?
I'm flattered, sir.
Your record is exemplary, I believe.
I do my best, sir.
I'm sure you do. So please, don't let me down. Fix this mess.
Mess? You mean the girl?
The whole untidy situation.
Yes, sir.
Girl. Keep a smile on your face. After all, it's Aspiration Day, isn't it? The happiest day of the year.
I'll take care of it, sir.
I know you will. By the way, a call to pest control wouldn't go amiss.
Of course, sir.
Meanwhile, I shall isolate this area until this unfortunate incident has been resolved.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate your advice.
We're all here to learn from each other. Take care now.
Miss? Pardon me, miss! Who, me? Hey! You can see forever up here! You know, be free! Miss, you have to be careful. Careful or careless? I know which one I want to be. Why don't you come down, yes? Miss Dijon, is that right? Raquel Dijon. Yeah! That's... me. I think... Raquel! Raquel? Did you say Raquel? You need to come down. What? Where am I? Oh no! Help! Help!
Hearing her name had triggered a total change in the girl's behavior. I needed to find a way to get her down before she fell.